Without further ado, let's get Mr. Anthony Brown out here.
Been part of this community since 2017. So, been loving it. Appreciate all the love. It's just been great. The community is just solid. It doesn't get better than this. You got guys doing all different type of deals, and everybody got a different wealth of knowledge that you can tap into. So it doesn't get better than this. As for me, I started off doing architecture, went to school for that, and did that, and still doing it, for the most part for 20 plus years now. But always wanted to get into real estate. I was working with contractors, doing a lot of what we call Mac mansions in the boroughs, in all the boroughs, from Staten Island all the way over to Manhattan. So, doing a lot of Mac mansions and, getting calls as early as 7 a.m. in the morning, way back till 10 o'clock at night. I'm like, wow, this thing's must got to be good. So why am I on the other side of the fence? So ultimately, just kind of gravitate towards getting into the game of real estate investing. Reached out to Mr. Joe Styles. He didn't call me for like 2 weeks, I had to hunt him down, because I was serious, And he finally called me back, and the rest is history, put me through the system, and, we started doing what we need to do, right? So definitely, as Los says, I started off in tax lien, tax deeds. And the reason for that is that sometimes you're in the game, but you don't have the bread, so to speak, or you don't have the leverage. And so the best way for me was just to get in. And the easiest way and the cheapest way to get into real estate was tax lien, the tax deeds. I could easily get in with 500 or 5,000, doesn't matter, right? And so once I got in, I see the stuff working, I start doing seller finance and some of those deals. And then after a while, I find myself with so much land. I'm like, wow, what am I going to do with this land now? So I say, you know what, let's take that land development class. Because when you have a community that has all this knowledge, you could always move from strategy to strategy. And so I moved I still do tax liens and tax deeds, but I now start doing land development because I had so much land sitting on, right? And, met up with a few realtors, a few builders, and kind of figure out who I want to work with. And so far, I got a good niche of people that I'm working with. And just the way I structure it, it makes it simple for me to not be hands-on because I'm back and forth between states. So it works out where, love what I'm doing. This was one of the tax deed property that I picked up a while back. So this is the existing condition. This is in a neighborhood which I've built before. I built 2 homes in this neighborhood before, so I know the neighborhood a little bit. So this is in Ocala, Florida. All right, so pretty much I'm walking into the house here. The guys there working, getting ready to put the floor down. So pretty much, you could see the neighborhood. There's no house going to be in front of this house because it's all like, what do you call it? For the nature lovers. So there's no home going to be in front of this house. So pretty much there's no neighbor, there's no noisy neighbor to disrupt you. But pretty much we are walking through the garage door now here, on the left side here, pretty much going in. That's the back door, take you to the outside. We also have a side door here, that takes us into the kitchen area, right? And you slip into the kitchen with your grocery. You got the washer and dryer right there. Of course, you got the kitchen sink. You got a little pantry. You got your kitchen area. And of course, you make your way down to one of the bedrooms, right? That's actually the master bath. You can see the double piping for his and her sink. Once you leave that, you enter out back into living space, or what we call public space. You can see a view of the backyard. So even though the lot had a funny shape, you can see that it has so much land space in the back to put a pool, put a gazebo, put all the entertainment stuff for the barbecue and all that good stuff that you do in the backyard, right? Right. So that's the sliding glass door that's from the kitchen area, the kitchen/dining area. Give you a view to the back.
How do you know all this stuff, my friend?
Oh man, it's part of the community, as well as the knowledge of classes that we have offered here. That's the bread and butter right there. Diving into these classes and getting first-hand knowledge from practitioners who are actually doing it for a living, right? So when you're learning from somebody, especially some of these courses that we are taking, who is actually doing it for a living, that's how they feed their family. They're dropping everything on you, right? You're getting the whole shebang, so to speak. You're getting the ins and outs, the failures, the wins, the losses, etc. And so the courses that we have here is literally the Bible as far as getting started and getting involved.
So what you're saying is you didn't just go out there and start doing, or you learned first and then you did, or you just went out there and just started doing?
No, 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 no. I dive into my classes, you know, every morning and every weekend. I'm in the classes till I grasp it, taking notes, replaying my classes because it's online courses, right? That we offer, right? So you find that because you could stop and play and take notes, you know, and piggyback, and then even better yet, we could also go back to some of these instructors who teach in this class and ask questions when we have our, you know, national events or you know, intensive events. You know, we get first-hand knowledge from some of these instructors as well. So the course is beautiful. The course is just over the top. And of course, the instructors themselves are just dropping boatload of knowledge on you when you start taking these courses. So for me, you know, getting started, you know, you definitely want to figure out, you know, the legal aspect, right? So I started off taking the tax and legal day 1 and 2, which is all about the entity, you know, which property, what type of entity you should be having, how to protect your assets, how to protect your property, how to pay less taxes. All these courses are something that I had to spend the time and digest before doing the first deal, right? I had to get into courses about real estate foundation, right? I had to learn the basics, right? And was it time well spent? Yeah, definitely was time well spent because you get to learn the language, you get to learn the do's and don'ts. And then on top of that, when you start reaching out to start looking to do your first deal, the fact that you have the vocabulary locked down, you know, can actually have better conversation, ask better questions, right? So there's no way that I was going to jump into real estate investing without getting the foundation down. You know, my type of deals are what we call creative acquisitions, in the sense where, you know, I'm constantly looking for properties to buy so that I could build on. And so you're always, you know, making things creative, right? You know, not doing anything outside, you know, outside the standard norm, right? Of course, you got to learn to negotiate, right? You know, whether it's just figuring out, is this the right property? Is this property on the right side of the tracks that you want to buy, right? And so, you know, you get offers, you know, people try to sell me lots all the time. I got to weigh these properties and negotiate prices. Is this a good fit? Is it the right price? So sometimes somebody will come to you and try to sell your property that's at market property. There was just so new information and so much tricks and so much golden nuggets that were being dropped. I had to go back a second time just to make sure that it digests, right? And when I walked away confident, saying I could do this, right? And that's what the community is all about, right? When you're part of a community like ours, you got the confidence you can do anything that you want to do with the support that you have, with the knowledge that you're getting from the courses. You know, it's a no-brainer where you could definitely do anything.
All right. So you saw how Anthony used some of these classes in order for him to know what he's doing, right? And to be able to talk this smooth, it is about the knowledge, and it is about understanding exactly what's going on around you. That's just the beginning. The other part to the education itself is the part that comes with our community and the support, actually, right? There's more classes here. We have the passive invest. So you get all these learning paths to know every single strategy that you under the sun, all of the strategies. What we always talk about is the support, right? So right now, there's you, we are here, right? We're doing a property tour. So weekly, we have our property tours. Weekly, we do our masterminds. We have the group coaching so that you have the support. Very hard to find this type of support, right? We do daily webinars. We have study groups as well. So our weekly support, because real estate is something that these strategies is something that we usually practice every day, and you would want to practice this stuff every day. We're usually in this every single day. So this is an example of the support that we have in our community.
But again, you know, you have the community, right? You have the classes and you have the community. So you have more than support that you need to get started. So there's no reason nobody to walk off to this call today and say, I can't do it. You have enough tools in the tool belt to get this done. Just got to have a good business model in place, a good business plan, and get it going. You know, I'm ready to go into North Carolina right now in South Carolina. So that's part of my plan for this year as well, to go into another state now, to break ground in that market. So why? Not because I'm special, but because I have the confidence knowing that I'm going to work with somebody who is from our community in North Carolina or South Carolina. Simple as that. It's all about the community.